Hello, hello, hello. Hi, people. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good. You're safe and healthy. I know how disturbing it is outside right now, but I hope everything is fine on your end. And as a as a responsible citizen, as a responsible individual, the only help we can do right now in the midst of this chaos is to spread awareness instead of rumors. So, as I always say, awareness is power. So, here I am with a live with Dr. Farah Adam and on the topic COVID vaccine and women health. So, here we are about to cover women of all categories, menstruating women or trying to conceive or a new mom or pregnant or breastfeeding. We'll try to cover all the possible topics. So let me just connect to Dr. Farah Adam so that she can clear all our doubts today. Hi, Dr. Farah, how are you?
Hi Divya, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So first of all, thank you for accepting my request, and we are we are looking forward for a real informative and eye-opening session today. So, for those who doesn't know Dr. Farah much, Dr. Farah Adam is a family physician, hands-on mom of two, and a YouTuber as well, and author of the book Newborn and New Moms. Amazing, right? Yes, she is. So, firstly, to start with, let's start with the effect of vaccines for different groups of people. I mean the women, different categories of women who are planning for pregnancy and breastfeeding, and who are menstruating women and pregnant women. So, what do you have to say about it?
Okay. So firstly, I'll go from actually the older women.
Okay,
So older women, 60 plus, for
okay,
them, vaccine was the first to be rolled out, and they have responded quite well. And
okay,
maximum, they'll get some fever, they'll get soreness on the injection side, and that's about it. Now, the younger age group, 45 plus, even this group did not fall under the reproductive age group category, the 45 plus, because
okay,
many of them they reach menopause by 40, between 40 to 50 years.
right,
So the question about vaccine safety did not arise with them. Now, then after that, what happened is now there's a rumor that started that in your periods you cannot take vaccine.
right.
So when you asked me, I was totally on board because there's so many rumors and so many WhatsApp forwards that people believe in more than people believe in actual real announcements by government bodies and by health bodies. So that rumor people really took to heart that you should not get vaccination 5 days before your periods and 5 days after your periods because your immunity is low. Immunity is slightly low during menses, but not that much that you cannot take a vaccine.
Okay,
So that is an utterly false piece of news that vaccination should not be taken during periods before or after or anything like that. Now the next issue is planning a baby, pregnancy, and in breastfeeding.
yeah,
These three phases. So today only we got the news from CDC, that is the biggest health body in the world that we listen to. CDC said that you can give initial reports were not there because the studies were not done on pregnant women. Now the studies, small study has been done on pregnant women, and that talks about safety of the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine in pregnant women. Pfizer and
okay,
Moderna are two companies that are producing the vaccine.
okay,
So Pfizer and Moderna vaccine is safe in pregnant women, but we're still waiting for more reports. But there was no harm caused to the baby.
okay,
That the report says. So it's encouraging, to say the least. It's encouraging, and it's not been mandated as a vaccine that can be taken for pregnant women. It's not compulsorily told that you have to take the way the
but
general
there's no
population should
harm you're
take.
saying, right?
Not yet. We haven't, the
Okay, no
research has not
information.
shown yet. So that's why it's not mandated. Mandated means it's not made compulsory that you
Yeah.
pregnant women should take it. Like, the tetanus vaccine is there, and the vaccines that you take in pregnancy, the tetanus vaccine. It's not mandated, but it is not completely out as a safe vaccination to do. So there is still on the fence, but more towards, yeah, you can go ahead, take it. So that is a very personal decision every woman needs to make, because with such little criteria and guidelines, if you talk about in pregnancy, there's very little criteria and guidelines. There's very little research that has gone into it. Favorable only. And even the ACOG, American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, even they have said that pregnant women should take the vaccine. So
Okay.
it is really up to the woman herself. That is the final say on this. Right now,
So I
we have
guess if
reached
there is
that
any,
phase of
if there is
research.
no side effects, then maybe the woman can like maybe they can choose to have a vaccine if there is no side effect.
Yes, because if you look at the risk and the benefit ratio, the risk is that if the woman in pregnancy gets a COVID-19 infection, that we still don't know what all it can cause to the woman. We still don't know if it can cause some abnormalities in the child development. But when a pregnant woman gets a infection, when she gets a COVID infection, it is far more dangerous for her. It is, she has, her symptoms are way more serious, like the body pain and the fatigue and the exhaustion. Keeping that in point, they're suggesting that go for the vaccine.
Okay.
And the pregnant women who took the vaccine and who after the vaccine, their only complaint was they had more soreness in the injection site. The arm was more sore.
Okay.
So pregnant women can take it. Uh, Menstruating women can take it. Breastfeeding also, we don't have enough data yet.
Okay.
So that is the final say on that.
So like I have certain people who like I know certain two of my friends, they are pregnant and also they are affected by COVID right now. So but they haven't taken any vaccine. So what you would say, like what would be your suggestion on this? They are
So my suggestion
isolated.
on this,
Yeah.
they're isolated. And how are their symptoms?
Symptoms, mild symptoms they have. Not heavy symptoms, but yeah, manageable. They are just isolated and they are just keeping their calm as per.
Yeah. So for them, we would suggest that what they can do is after the infection, 2 weeks later, they can get the vaccination done. But the problem right now that we are facing is there's a shortage of vaccine. May 1st is they're telling it will open up. The vaccination will open up. But there's an acute shortage of vaccines.
Yeah, very true.
So if they are lucky, they can get the vaccination 2 weeks later, but they need to speak to their gynecologist before doing it.
Yeah, true.
And it depends on which month they are in. If they're in early pregnancy, then I would recommend that they go for the vaccine.
First
Because in
trimester, right?
yeah,
Okay.
because they can get the COVID immunity will go down. The COVID immunity that they get from the actual infection will go down. So for them, vaccination will be recommended 2 to 3 weeks after the infection is they are completely asymptomatic, and that will give them protection for breastfeeding also.
Okay.
Breastfeeding time also it will get protection.
So if they are in they are in 6th month right now. One of my friend is 6th month right now. So
If she's
she was.
lucky, she'll get the vaccine. If she's lucky, she'll get the
Yeah,
vaccine.
actually, there's an
But
acute shortage. Actually, 18 plus, they have started. They said they have started the allotting centers for vaccination. But when I tried to book, I have got no slot. There are maybe I really don't know what in no state. I guess the vaccine is
yeah,
available. In every state, maybe after 45 plus people are only for them only it is available, and that too it is as you said is there is an acute shortage of
yeah.
vaccines.
Yeah, in fact, my in-laws, they were vaccinated in Feb first week, no, in March first week.
Okay.
And they read some WhatsApp forward, and they read that 6 to 8 weeks later you have to take. I insisted that take it 4 weeks. No, they said no, 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 we'll take it 6 to 8 weeks. I said okay, fine, it's up to you. You can't force them. That generation doesn't listen to our generation. And so yeah, they said they'll take it later. And when they wanted to take it later, that time there was no vaccine slots available for them for Covishield. They had taken Covishield. They
Okay.
didn't take Covaxin. Covaxin was only available. Now, though, in our hospital, it just started and it's like stopped. That's a problem.
Yeah. So, Dr. Farah, I have got certain questions. So someone was asking like vaccines are unsafe because they make you sick, because they are listening from so many people that after
Yeah.
getting vaccines they are having fever and body pains and all such sort of vomiting sensation and severe fatigue. So they are not going for it, listening to all these things.
Yeah. So I'll tell you why it is unsafe. There are two vaccines available in India. One is Covishield and one is Covaxin. Now, Covishield is a DNA recombinant vaccine. Now, what does that mean? That means the genetic material that is there of the virus, that has been modified, okay, by technology, that has been modified, and they introduce that into your body. Now when that goes into your body, it mimics the virus just a little bit, it just mimics the virus, and that alerts our immune system. There is a potential threat, but it cannot multiply like the virus, so it cannot cause an infection. So
Okay.
Covishield, on the one hand, is little. It has fewer side effects. It, Covishield is the one that is not made in India. It is made in UK. Okay.
Okay.
Now Covaxin is a killed virus, so it is more similar to the coronavirus. Covaxin, the Bharat Biotech one that is
Right.
produced in,
Yes.
in Pune, in India, that one is a killed vaccine. Now, the advantage of a killed vaccine is it will give you better protection. Why? Because it mimics the virus very much. It
Okay.
really mimics the virus. And so the kill vaccine is better to take, and the fever that you're getting is because it is having a small, it is just like a trailer of the infection.
Okay.
It is giving a trailer of the infection to our immune system. That's what vaccines are all about. They're giving a trailer of the infection to our immune system. Now, once our immune system gets that trailer, it will start producing immunity against it. The antibodies will be produced against it. So it is not an unsafe vaccine. Many vaccines, even many children's vaccines, the killed vaccines, when they get, the children, small kids also get fever. I'm not talking about
Yes.
coronavirus,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just a
Other
normal
vaccines.
vaccination.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise. So many people get fever and soreness from normal vaccines also. So
Yeah.
that's the thing with Covaxin. It will give you more side effects, but along with the side effects, it is also affording a lot of protection. It is affording more protection than Covishield because
Okay.
it is more closely mimicking the virus, because it's a killed virus vaccine. So there's nothing to worry about. Even if you get fever, it will maximum be for 2 to 3 days. That's about it.
Yeah. Okay. But unfortunately, we don't have any selection. We don't have any
Is
options
your
in
kid
what.
crying?
No, no. She's okay. Someone else is crying.
Okay. If you have
Hopefully,
to
we
go
are
to
not
her,
getting
please go.
any disturbance. Hopefully.
If you have
So
to go to her, no problem. I'll carry forward the session.
sure, I'll tell you if it is required. She's fine.
Okay.
So yeah. So the next question is COVID vaccine affecting women's infertility?
No, nothing like that. That is fully a rumor. You want to scare somebody and drop the stock value of a vaccine or some company. No, you just put the fertility issue over there. It's all rubbish. It's all WhatsApp generated.
It is
No.
scary as well.
Yeah, and you tell fertility potency to a man, he will run in the opposite direction. That guy.
Yeah.
Potency, if you say more than fertility is a potency, they'll run in the opposite direction. So this is how all this rubbish begins. This is how the lobby begins.
Yeah.
They just say anything and everything, and that reduces the stock value of the vaccine manufacturer. It's very smart. And WhatsApp, you cannot even trace from where that news even started.
Very
No,
true.
it does not affect the fertility. It does not affect the
Actually,
fertility.
people want to help others. They are just forwarding everything without.
Yeah.
The only thing is they don't know whether it is true or false, and unfortunately, rumors are more than awareness.
Yes, fake news is way more.
Yeah. So thank you for the confirmation. And some believe that vitamin and mineral supplements can cure COVID-19.
Okay, now this vitamania, it is like, this is madness. Madness, this is madness. No, vitamin and zinc, see, just in general, okay, they're all good stuff. Get it from the natural resource. because
Okay.
all of this is manufactured in companies and they have that only one thing, just like vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, handpicked. And now more this that they study about vaccines, sorry, not vaccines, more they study about what is present, nutrients. They are coming up with so many things and they all work beautifully together. You just take like a banana. They
Okay.
work beautifully together. The phytonutrients means plant nutrients, the nutrients you get from plants.
Okay.
The phytonutrients, the vitamins, they work beautifully together. So the false sense of assurance that we get from taking a vitamin, that's all that you get, false sense of assurance. Yeah, some people do require vitamin B12, especially diabetics and the elderly, especially vegetarians. So for them, we can supplement. But other than that, I'm not pro supplementation person. I don't take any vitamins. I have not given any vitamin syrups or anything to my children ever.
Okay.
And along with the vitamin comes the coloring and the preservatives in it. So we don't know how much harm that can cause. So that's why my pediatrician told I don't want to give. I said okay, please don't. Even I'm not pro vitamin. So people believe this because if you go back to 1970s, there is this fellow called Linus Pauling. Now this fellow has started this thing and it's still not dying down. He believed that taking a mega dose of vitamin C every day will make you healthy for life, and he used to take mega dose of vitamin C. Now the beauty of vitamin C is that it is soluble in water. So you pee it out. You don't store it. Unlike vitamin A and D, which gets stored and it can cause some liver damage,
Ah.
because if you take a lot of dose of that, it can cause some liver damage. Whereas this fellow, vitamin C, just get peed out.
Okay.
You don't store it in any form. So that's why he was like, take it and you will feel much better. Now this is how the West functions. You give them any new product, they want to use it so much till they puke on it. Like you give them haldi, they will use it to no end, and say this is the only thing we were looking for all our lives, which is not true. Everything has to be in moderation, in
Right.
context. You cannot just take haldi and put it in everything and make pills out of it. What nonsense is that? It was only a decade ago we were mocked for having our dals look yellow, our curries look orange, because of the haldi. It
Yes.
looks like that because of the haldi. We were mocked like 10-20 years back, and now that haldi is taken by them and sold back to us as turmeric or curcumin or whatever name they want to give it. So that's what I say. The West is very good at doing copy paste work. They find one research about it and they just go mad trying to make money out of it. Like I'll give you one example. There's this book I read, in that there's this person that there's this supplement, not a vitamin supplement, it was a supplement for potency.
Okay.
And if you cut it open, yeah, you're cutting the tablet open, the capsule, you cut it open, there is a Viagra sitting inside it. So the Viagra is the one that is causing the potency. There is no supplement like that. They just packaged it like that. And the worst part is the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, which is the highest body for allowing drugs and things like that. They do not regulate all of this. They do not regulate vitamins, they do not regulate minerals. It is completely open for people to join in the market. And US has this very disadvantageous system where you can advertise proper prescription medicines on TV, direct to consumer broadcasting, that is direct to
Okay.
consumer. And it's very unfortunate. So they can sell anything and the patient can demand anything from the doctor, and if the doctor doesn't give, you can give a bad review. So at the end of it, we are only the ones who are suffering. In India, that is not much. They just say that, right? If you take too much vitamin, you just get expensive urine. That's all it is. You're just wasting your money and it will all get passed into urine. Yeah, people who are not eating healthy foods, who are already eating processed foods, like the bachelors, for them, yeah, you can take the vitamins. It will help you in certain way, but the best way to take it is in the natural form.
Very true. Like this is the biggest concern of me, and you have solved it, because I was thinking like, should I get this zinc tablets and vitamin C tablets? Should I do? So can you please suggest the regular food that is the supplements of what is mandatory, the zinc supplements and the
Whatever is seasonal, that is what is mandatory. You get vitamins and minerals, you need them in very little amount, and the seasonal fruits and vegetables, whatever is there, make it normally and have it. For vitamin C, I wouldn't say take hot water and put lemon in it, because lemon, although rich in vitamin C, gets deactivated by heat. So this hot water and lemon is not the best thing to take. The better thing would be to go for uh, you can have like normal lemon nibu pani, or you can have it along with your non-veg food. So that will aid in the absorption of iron also.
We can add it
And
on top of whatever we are having, like
yeah,
the rice.
chicken and lemon go very well, right?
Yeah.
Like little bit of lemon juice on top.
Mhm.
And aside from that, what you can do is, yeah,
Mangoes, raw
yeah,
mango.
papaya. Yeah, you can just go for what normally gets cooked at home, because that is
Okay.
how everything is absorbed very well. Just go for that.
So until and unless they have diabetes and some special concerns, people normally who are healthy, they can have the normal daily food for the supplements.
Yeah. And in fact, when they get some ulcers in the mouth, we give them vitamin B complex. That time you giving is okay, vitamin B complex, because some deficiency can cause that. But other than that, as such, I don't give. And the patient, see, there is always something that patient feels happy. So if I have a COVID patient, she comes to me and she says that she or he, they say that no symptoms, just COVID positive. For them, I might even write Zincovit and vitamin C and give zinc and vitamin C supplements. I'll write that for them,
Okay.
because to just tell them that monitor your oxygen and take Dolo if you have fever, body pain, they are not satisfied with it. So I have to look at the patient satisfaction also. If the patient is not satisfied, yeah, that is important. For the patient should feel like, okay, I went to the doctor, it was something,
And they gave me
something came
medicine,
out
so
of
I'm
it.
happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas for patient who is symptomatic, who I already am putting on so many medicines, for them I will avoid vitamin C supplement, especially because it causes acidity. Taking 2 tablets a day causes acidity. So nothing is in the world is what vitamin C can we take? You can take Limc 500 mg twice a day or once a day. You can take it. It's okay, but it can cause acidity. So people who are acidity prone, people who I put on many medicines for COVID, for them I will not give Limc, because I want to avoid giving them acidity and gastritis.
Clear. So, someone has said that I have to get a pregnancy test before I receive this COVID-19 vaccine. So, as you said, that it is not proven for pregnant women. So,
Yeah, so that's what I said, right? The American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, as well as CDC, they have not mandated it, they have not made it compulsory. So, what they have done is they have said that ultimately you and your physician can decide. So, yes, please go for a pregnancy test if you think you could be pregnant. And if you want to postpone it, if you don't want to take the risk, if you want some more time to think about it, please take the pregnancy test. Take the
okay.
pregnancy test, then decide for yourself whether you want it or not.
Yeah, but as you have said, like for the first trimester, they can always go ahead and because it is not, as you said, it is not that risky. So for the first trimester, you said that they can go ahead
Yeah.
and take the
Yeah,
vaccine.
but the killed vaccine, we don't know what all effect it's going to have yet. We don't know yet the killed vaccine. There's a question. Can you read that out from Thomas Family Forever? If you could read it out, Divya.
One moment, one moment. What about boosting kids' immunity during these times?
Um, Keep them happy. Let them be. That's what I say. The best way to boost a child's immunity is to let them play, let them be. Don't force them, and don't stress them out. With like sanitize, 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 or don't do this, or we ourselves remove our stress on the kids. That if you reduce and let them eat as they want to eat, and yeah, we have to go after their lives asking them to eat vegetables and eat fruits. As in my kids, they drink milk, that's a very big deal for me. Otherwise, you give them biscuits, they'll eat that entire day, cookies and ice creams and biscuits. So yeah, we have to go after their lives. Give them normal food, whichever is available in the house. It depends on their age, right? Fruits, veggies, mashed veggies. Give them all of that, and that will be fine. That is enough for them.
We have got another question. Is it true that we need to wait for 2 months before planning pregnancy if a woman gets vaccinated?
That was true till a week back.
Okay.
So, Kirti, that's the thing. We don't know. I discussed this in the beginning of our session, half an hour back, that we still don't know, and to, it's better to wait. I would suggest it is better to wait for 2 months till your immune system settles down before you plan a pregnancy. To the current guideline is 2 weeks. 2 weeks after being symptomatic, you wait and get the COVID vaccine. But after getting the COVID vaccine, how long to wait? We still don't have enough studies on that, enough research on that. So yeah, minimum waiting for 2 months is advantageous.
Hope that's clear. Okay. So no more questions.
Actually, with the jury is still out. As I say, the jury is still out. We still don't know. We don't have enough research. We have enough that CDC and ACOG, these are the parent bodies of medicine. They have said that it is, they have mentioned that it is enough to go ahead. I mean, you can go ahead with pregnancy or you can take it during pregnancy, but we're still waiting for more reports to come before we say yes, women should take it. We have not made it to a should stage. We have said can take it.
All right. So, some are saying like COVID-19 vaccines doesn't work on new strains of virus.
Yeah, that's not true as of yet. It is not giving 100% immunity. Okay, it is not giving 100% immunity. We know that, but this is what happens with respiratory viruses. Even the flu virus we have to give every year to the people who are susceptible to it, especially the older people with lung problems. Why do we give it? Because it mutates very fast. Every year there's a new mutation coming, and the last year's vaccination has to be thrown out. It does work on the new strain. It is not that mutated. It does work. You can go ahead with the vaccine, and we're still waiting for an absolute update on this.
Okay.
So yeah, there are a lot of, because there's hardly been a year, and the vaccine just got rolled out this January. So the COVID virus has hardly been around for a year, and the vaccine getting rolled out in January. We still don't know exactly what is it up to. Peace. The virus has not told us what it is up to. So we're still waiting for that. But no, you do please go ahead with the vaccine. Mutations happen in every virus. Mutations will happen in every virus and every bacteria also. That's how they become super bugs. But please go ahead and take the vaccine.
Yeah, right. So, some are saying like negative COVID test means I'm not infected. So how far is it?
It depends on which test you have taken. If it's
Okay.
RT-PCR, negative means probably not infected. But nowadays, with the second wave, what I'm seeing is that the patient is having more and more COVID negative tests. They'll have continuous 10 days of fever. They will lose this sense of taste and smell. So
Okay.
it looks very much like a COVID infection. And the people, their family members that they're living with, they are testing positive for COVID. But this person who is the most symptomatic in the house is testing negative. So just could you repeat the question? Testing negative for COVID?
Doesn't mean a negative COVID-19 test means I'm not infected.
No, that's not true. You could be positive and be asymptomatic, and you could be negative and be severely infected. And the second wave, we are seeing more and more patients who are testing negative for the RT-PCR, the one you take from the nose. They're testing negative for the RT-PCR, but they still have all the symptoms, and we are still treating them as COVID-19 patients. So always better to talk to your doctor about it.
Actually, last year we were tested positive, me and my husband, and
Oh God.
and then yeah. Okay, so we were tested 1 minute.
Yeah. Hello, people. So Divya has to go and attend to her daughter. She just started telling us about her parents. Sorry, her own story about what happened with them, and her daughter has interrupted it. So I will take you along what all we have discussed so far. So far, what we have discussed is for women. When women are having periods, they're menstruating, does it affect their immunity and should they not take vaccine in that? Absolutely not true. Please go ahead and take your vaccine irrespective of your cycle. The second thing is elderly women, 45 plus, 50 plus. Do they need to take the vaccine? Yes, absolutely. And even if they have BP, sugar, or cholesterol, or any such things, what are the vaccines at different prices? Okay, I'll come to that. Yeah. So if they have any of these comorbidities, as we call it, any of these lifestyle diseases, they can go ahead with it. And for pregnancy also, the recent guidelines have said that pregnant women and breastfeeding women can take it, but it's not a should take it. And we have a question from why are the vaccines at different prices? Well, the vaccine started off at 250, and in the government hospitals this was free. Now there's an acute shortage of the vaccine. There's a big shortage of the vaccine, and that's why they're at different prices.
Okay, like
Because of the shortage,
even
the
this
supply is
Covaxin,
less, the demand is more.
yeah.
That's
So
why.
this Covaxin is around 1200 rupees, and this Covishield is around 600. So does that mean that Covaxin is more effective and powerful than Covishield, something like that?
No, no, no. Covaxin, I told you, right? My opinion on Covaxin. It is a killed virus. It is made from the killed virus, so it is more effective. But the reason why it could be at a higher price is because we do not have enough of it. India has exported a lot of vaccine. We do not have enough in the manufacturing.
Okay.
So that's why the prices have been raised. The supply demand is very high, but the supply is very low. We're having acute shortages everywhere, and it was for free in the government hospitals just like a month ago, and 250 rupees in a private sector. But right now it's reached this sky high. 1200 is a lot of money. From 250 to 1200 is a lot of money.
Okay, so as I was telling that last year we were tested positive and we went for RT-PCR test, and for the first time I was tested negative and he was tested positive, my husband was tested positive, and for the next time I was tested positive and he was tested negative, and we were really
Yeah.
confused what is happening. And then we went for CT scan, and then there it was very clear that both are positive. So, like, is it convincing that we should go for CT scan rather than RT-CPR test?
Not necessary to go for CT scan. See, that this is what happens, right? When people start taking decisions on their own, rather than listening to their doctors, CT scan is also a resource, right? You cannot have unlimited CT scans in a day. So if all the patients who are supposed to get tested for COVID now suddenly go for CT scan, there's another problem. And I'll give you an example. I have a patient right now who is having almost 10 days of fever.
Okay.
His D dimers are high. He has a lot of clotting affinity right now, and I've started him on the blood thinning vaccine. Injectable medicine. And this fellow, his CT scan was done at the beginning, okay, along with COVID test. His COVID came positive, and CT scan was clear. Right now, he has developed a little bit of pneumonia. So I did a repeat X-ray. Maybe there's some other infection coming in, and the repeat X-ray shows that he's having a little bit of pneumonia, and it is not a COVID picture in his X-ray. So I had to start him on antibiotics for pneumonia. So a good CT scan in the beginning does not guarantee a good CT scan 1 week later, and a COVID negative report. It's more like we have to treat each patient individually. We cannot just go and just put a blanket this thing. See, when lay people, that is non-medical, start interpreting their reports and start figuring things out, it gets more difficult for the doctor, the lay person, if they start doing it. It gets more difficult for the doctor because the person himself did CT scan at an inappropriate time. The doctor would have preferred to do the CT scan 3 days later. And if everyone goes for CT scan before going for the test, our CT scan facilities will come at a standstill.
Yeah.
It will be so busy, and the people who actually need it, the people who are having less oxygen in their blood and or their oxygen saturation is falling, it is going to get more difficult for them. So that's why do not go for CT scan instead of RT-PCR.
Okay. So
And I
yeah.
told, right, positive are coming as negative and negative are coming as positive. Negative are not positive are not coming as negative. Negatives are look positive from the family members being infected, from the not just family members, from just the symptoms that they have. Sorry.
Okay. So the question is that children below 18, like kids, should they get vaccinated? Because earlier,
No,
for the last year is concerned, kids were not affected, but that's not the case right now. Kids are more and more kids are getting affected. So what do you have to say about it?
that's because the social distancing norms were really settled. Like people were not doing it anymore, especially in December, January, the shadi season, the party season. People were traveling more and more to Goa, Maldives, wherever, and the exposure has increased. That's why more and more kids are affected. And yeah, in the second wave, kids are affected compared to the first wave, because in the first wave, what happened was kids were asymptomatic largely. Now they're having symptoms. So that's why we know whether children should get vaccinated. There's no vaccine available for children. That's the problem. There's no vaccine. We're still 1 year away from the vaccine being created for children.
Okay.
Something that is safe and efficacious and doesn't put anyone at risk. So, yeah. So children should not get vaccinated with what we have right now. We have to wait, and we have to be more careful with them. They are the future.
Yes, so actually it is said that because kids are getting vaccinated on a regular basis, so that's why they were protected from COVID. Last year I heard all this, but how far is it true?
BCG vaccine. Not so true, because no, many of these vaccines that we give our children are actually bacterial. They're not viral. All of them are not viral. Many of them are bacterial. So the routine one is tetanus is also bacteria. Diphtheria, pertussis, and all are bacteria. And how much of cross reactivity is there? Actually, I have no idea about it. How much of protection is there? BCG seem to be having some protective effect. So small children were protected by BCG. That's all I know of. Cross reactivity it will have with MMR. These are viral infections. Measles, viral infection again. But I don't know how much of cross reactivity and cross protection will be there by these vaccines. I've actually not heard of this. But I could get back to you. I'll read up about this and get back to you.
Okay. So, guys, before winding up this session, so if you have any questions, then you can feel free to question us, and Dr. Farah
You
is
can
here to
DM us.
answer. Yes. So, you want to add on something, Farah?
Only the polio one is viral. No, MMR is also viral. Measles is also viral. These are all viral infections.
Okay.
Chickenpox is viral. The varicella vaccine is there. That is also a viral vaccine. Yeah.
So, lastly, Farah, you want to say something? Um,
Nothing. Please, guys, stay at home. It's getting more and more difficult. Even I'm going stir crazy. Stir crazy means, you stay at home for long enough and you go like, just get done with it. I'm not staying at home. I'm going to the hospital daily. There's not been a single day that I've not gone to the hospital because of lockdown or anything. I had taken a vacation, but I did not go. Yeah,
so,
so stay at home. Please let's help each other. And one word of caution I want to give: do not self-treat. Do not look at other person's prescription and take medicines. These medicines are a very precious resource. Antibiotic resistance is coming up. So,
we have got another question. Is there any risk to
mm,
health by getting vaccinated if you have antibodies already from COVID?
yeah, I spoke about this. So, any person who now below 45 are getting vaccinated from May 1st. So, if you have an infection, you can take the vaccine 2 weeks after complete recovery. And by complete recovery means completely asymptomatic 2 weeks after. So, basically, if you're infected, that means you will have antibodies, and it's okay. KPCR, yeah. So, if you have, no, there is no harm. There is no harm. In fact, you should take it.
Actually, yesterday
Yeah,
what
so
happened, my maid was coming home and they were not wearing I have not seen them wearing masks only. So I thought of telling them that please wear masks when at least you are at home. Otherwise, take a break. No, no, not an issue. So then she was saying no. I said go get vaccinated first because I thought they were not. They are kind of not that educated. So I thought of telling them that 18 plus people are getting vaccines. So go and register yourself. So they are saying like no, people are dying after getting vaccine. So we are not getting. So I'm not getting any vaccine. No, I'm not doing it. So I said, no, that's not the case. You have to get vaccine. So she was saying like every day early morning I'm having kada. So there is no chance I'm getting COVID. So I was like, oh my god, see, matlab, this is the second wave, and then I have seen these people without mask. Every time she's going out, I ask her that please wear mask. She's saying, no, here only I'll just go and come back. So, sometimes I feel that
frustrating. Yeah.
even knowing so much, I'm not able to tell these people, convince these people that
Yeah.
it is not safe. So, at that point of time, I feel very helpless. But at the same time, we cannot change everybody. We can just tell what we should tell. That's all.
Yeah, you cannot change this mindset of, like we have to go the Ayurvedic way, we have to go Kada way. Yeah, you can take the Kada, it has protective effect. I'm not saying no. But if you keep drinking, I have seen menu for protecting yourself from COVID. Get up in the morning, have hot water with lemon, then have Kada, then have this tea, then have breakfast, then again one more Kada. I've seen that entire list and it is going to just kill the patient. It is going to ruin the liver of the patient. It is going to give so much of acidity to the patient. So please do not take kadas in excess. And whose head kada is going to be like so protective?
And also some powders are available in the market that they are getting those powders and it's like immunity it seems. This with this immunity we are not going to get COVID and they are freely roaming without any mask. I'm just going crazy with all these people
That
around.
is what has contributed to the second wave, right? More and more people, the chain was not broken. Once the chain was not broken, more and more people kept getting infected, and the more people got infected, the contagiousness of the virus just it's one of the most contagious things ever.
Yeah.
It is
So
exponentially spreading.
yeah, so guys, that's about it. Let's call it a day if you have no more questions. Yes, the dry roots used for jadi booty is so blindly being used everywhere as khana, right? Right. Some weird solutions are coming, but
Yeah,
the
and they're all
basic thing is
steeped in
mask.
superstition.
They're neglecting the main thing and they're following all the other
Yeah,
things.
yeah, exactly. Mask and distancing,
Yeah.
because we have to stop the spreading. The thing is, the medical community has to be so careful in telling, like, for pregnant women, for this, for that. They are not talking about how harmful it is to the population to over consume this, how deadly this disease is becoming out to be. That there are like 3,000 deaths in 300 deaths in Delhi every day.
So, yeah. I can totally understand the way the things are spreading, and it is so disturbing to listen to all these news. It's better to stop viewing all these news. It's better to start
Safe.
spreading awareness as much as possible instead of this
Yeah.
news that these many people have died. No. So, yeah, Farah, that's about it. I guess it's time for you to leave as well.
Thank you,
Thank you
Divya.
so
Thank you
much,
so much for
Farah.
hosting
You're
me.
so sweet, and thank you for so much information. Hope it has
You're
helped
welcome.
everybody. So, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, stay indoors. Bye.
Bye.